My whole life, right, I only wish for happiness and joy. Because why is adulthood so sad? Like, where did all the joy go? Where did all the block catching Beyblade moments go? Suddenly, everything is just responsibilities and people hurting you and people betraying you.
The sadness damn annoying. Like, get over yourself. You sad, never mind. But then when you make like your sadness like everybody's problem, right? Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Hot Pot where we hop into different transitions in life. I'm Nick.
I'm Q.
I'm Joey, and today I'm so excited because we are going to be talking about a topic inspired by Inside Out 2. Have you all watched it?
No.
No.
I only watched the first one.
Thank you for watching today's episode.
I know the soundtrack. Dun, 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 dun,
That's the soundtrack.
No meh?
It's one of the iconic songs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Keep up. I thought you TikTok one.
It's not on TikTok. On my
It
TikTok.
is? Oh my
It's not on my TikTok.
goodness.
Aiyo, my FYP not doing so well.
But you're on everyone's FYP recently lah.
Oh,
Is it?
skibbity toilet riz.
Wow.
So anyway, Inside Out 2 basically just amplified the importance of having negative emotions too. You can't just always be happy, you know? Joy is like the one that's like, everything must be happy, but then you need the anxiety, you need the stress.
I think don't need positive emotions.
What?
But if everything is negative, then there's no negative also.
Yeah.
No, you just
You need the
negative
highs and the lows.
neutral. No need high.
No, but you need the highs to experience the low. What?
There'll be
just
no
neutral.
neutrality if there's nothing to go above neutrality.
Calm. What is there a
We
calm?
move on, yeah.
Okay, did you guys watch the first movie at
Yes.
I did.
What did you think of it?
The sadness damn annoying. Like, get over yourself.
I think he thinks that sadness is a pick-me.
You sad, never mind. You depressed, never mind.
Then she, and then
Yeah.
she touched, all the balls become blue.
But then when you make like your sadness like everybody's problem, right? Then wow.
But that is her core.
Yeah lah. Annoying ah.
You find sadness more annoying than joy?
Yeah.
Huh? Actually, I love
interesting.
sadness vibes.
It's okay not to be okay.
Or maybe it's like depends on what we are doing. If I'm trying to get something done, right? I think I don't mind having joy around. But like sadness would just be like a burden.
She would, honestly, she would. There's this trend where you chart your emotions based on the Inside Out characters, okay? So if you were to chart your emotions, which ones would be the dominating emotions?
What are the emotions again?
We have joy, sadness, anger, disgust, fear, anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and ennui.
Huh?
Ennui is boredom,
She's like a
right?
new boredom. It means boredom in French. And it's very funny because the whole character, she only speaks French. And she's just like always like bored. Like
Joy is
truly.
clearly a joy.
Joy!
And
I think I got some
Joy and
anxiety.
anxiety.
I think all of us have
Yeah,
anxiety.
But
for
then I
sure.
just compartmentalize.
But is it your dominating?
Yeah, so what's... Okay, hers is definitely joy.
It might really be the ennui.
I think it's ennui and disgust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys agree with Joy when she says that as you grow up, you feel less joy?
I think in the past, right, I would identify myself as sadness. The whole of my 20s, I carried this wave of sadness with me. It was very hard for me to move on from things. Like, you know, some people move on from like their past in 2 months or 1 month. But it takes me like 1 to 2 years for each incident. Like, I wish things would just stop. Like, time would just stop. And I don't want to experience life anymore because why is adulthood so sad? Like, where did all the joy go? Where did all the block catching Beyblade moments go? Suddenly, everything is just responsibilities and people hurting you and people betraying you.
Maybe it's because of the way our society, where like as an adult, you are engineered to have certain expectations out of life. Like, oh, I need to have this, then I can be happy. I need to have this, then I can be happy.
Yeah.
The bar to feel joy is set higher. Whereas when you're younger, I go and play block catching today, I win.
Yeah.
Then you, joy. Wow, my Beyblade today win. Then like you feel that sort of happiness. So maybe it's a case of as an adult, your highs are even higher, but it's less frequent
Correct.
or harder to reach.
Why do you think you guys feel this way of these being like the rulers of your emotions?
I feel like when I was younger, I was a very angry teenager and child. But then I feel like I learned to suppress that such that it is now like not in my go-to emotion. Whereas I feel like joy has never been like something that like
You care about.
I feel like then none of your balls are yellow.
yeah.
You only got blue balls.
Joy is like, okay lah, I have then good lah, but not necessary.
I don't understand
God.
his mindset.
No, I don't
I really don't
understand.
understand it because for my whole life, right, I only wish for happiness and joy.
Yeah.
How can you not want to be happy?
No, I think like maybe I don't look at it as like I need joy. I just want like contentment.
Yeah, peace
Yeah.
lah, peace.
You know what I think it is? I've cracked the code. Joy requires energy. Sadness also requires energy. He just wants to be baseline. Because then he doesn't need to be like, he just like, let me just take my breath at resting heart rate. In the first movie, Joy learned that you cannot be happy all the time. And there's a need for you to feel these negative emotions, no matter how painful they are. So why do you think it's important for us to embrace these negative emotions?
Well, that's a deep one.
If not, next time like when you encounter them, right, you don't know how to process and deal with them. It's exposure therapy. In terms of joy, right, when I do experience joy now, right, then it's true joy.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, to the point where it's like, wow! But then if it's flipped, right, and then you are not used to feeling like sadness or fear, right, then suddenly out of the blue, you're
Yeah.
hit with sadness
You
or
could
fear.
shut
Right?
down.
Wow, I think like, yeah, it will be quite hard to process.
I was talking to my friends about how happy I am this year. And I'm ready to feel sad again. Like I used to avoid sadness and avoid anything that would trigger that emotion. But I realized like without comparing my past emotions and now, right, I wouldn't be able to feel this good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to go through all my downfalls first lah before
Yeah.
I pick. Not pick lah, I don't want to pick yet.
Yeah. I think it's a sign that you are regulated and that you're very comfortable with where you're at, that any adversity, you know you can face it and it won't change your core. It's something I always say, like through therapy, I really love discomfort. Because only with discomfort then you can grow and you learn more about yourself and how you face problems. Yeah, the only thing you can do is like learn from it. What?
Honestly, right, sometimes the situations and the painful stories that make who you are gives you a bit of a personality lah.
Actually, yeah, I feel like if you are only your dominant, like, emotion, right, then you'll be boring.
It's like when you meet someone, right, and then they're happy all the time.
Yeah.
And then you know sometimes you debrief with your friends afterwards and you're like, do you think that
A bit-
person's really
She
always
bit
happy?
much,
Like, do you think it's just a facade? Like, people will always just ask that. So do you all believe that someone could be that happy all the time?
I feel like I cannot connect with them.
Same. I feel like they need to live through some trauma, right? and
Trauma
like,
really makes you.
yeah.
No, like, I cannot like heart to heart
Yeah,
like
correct.
HH.
share my like struggles in life, because these people will just be like why so difficult? Why so difficult to
Yeah, just be happy lah. Just be happy.
Yeah.
Cannot.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to be a conscious choice to be happy because they only want to be happy. It could be their way of coping with sadness. This person doesn't know how to deal with sadness or anger, but happiness is a very comfortable emotion. So then she processes it through happiness.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way when you talk to your family members who are older?
As in, I think my dad has once said, 人生没有这样难.
Life not that hard.
Yeah.
It's
like,
really a-
你要看开. Sorry, which is just to look at the bright side.
No, but theirs is not like joy. Like got some
Ignorance.
yeah, that one is ignorance.
Yeah.
It's just like overwhelming positive energy to the point where it doesn't feel
Toxic
authentic.
positivity lah.
Authentic or balanced. Yeah.
You know, I think when we were younger, myself and my friends would always just say, cheer up, babes.
Oh my god. Yeah, the
Like, cheer up. But I realized through a friend called Cham, you all know Cham, she would sit with my sadness and she would ask me about why I feel this way and how can she make me feel better.
Yeah, that's what I will try to do. I
Yeah.
try to do also nowadays.
Like, it's not about just dismissing your emotions and just say, okay, look at the bright side, things will look up. But I think what a friend should do is really to talk about what made you feel that way actually. Yeah.
Why do you think then some people are more prone to anxiety, anger, sadness?
I started seeing my therapist again early this year. And then I was talking about how I'm always focusing on the worst outcome. Is that being pessimistic or is that just being prepared?
I would say it's just being prepared.
You could be prepared, but then if you are like sad doing it, you're like, it's not gonna turn out well anyway. So
Oh,
then,
yeah.
you
So
know what I mean? Does it affect your process?
Does it hold you back?
I think I was usually fixated on the worst outcome.
Oh,
But it's a coping mechanism of protecting myself.
so that
from-
you don't get disappointed?
don't get disappointed or don't get hurt. I never got the answer whether I'm truly pessimistic or I'm just being protective. of my feelings.
Maybe I also like that.
Like actually I want to be happy, but then I self-sabotage to become sad.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Because off the back of this, right, then actually when things do turn out like well, right,
Yeah.
I realize that I don't automatically feel happiness, no. I feel relief.
This is making me question whether I'm happy or relieved.
Yeah, I swear, like when I was talking to my therapist about this, right, I was so confused. Like what you said also, when the negative outcome actually happens, right, I'll be like, I knew it. I called it. And then I'm safe because I already processed the emotion that this will be how I feel if this situation happens.
But that's your need to be in control of the situation also.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you want to get to say that
Yeah.
That's me also.
I
Yeah.
will this to happen.
So that's why I was trying to dissect whether actually deep down I'm a very happy person, but because of my protective nature, right, I push myself to become more pessimistic by accident.
Does this help you empathize or sympathize with people who are more ruled by their negative emotions?
No.
Question Eh?
Oh my god, why we all whisper?
I cosplaying Nick. Because today he's sore throat. My name is Nick, I got sore throat.
What is a musical instrument you wish you could play?
The flute.
I think for you, dulcimer.
What the hell is that?
I think you'll be quite good at that.
Oh.
No, honestly, I can see you playing a saxophone.
I was gonna say saxophone.
Okay.
No, I can see you like
Ew,
but-
stop!
mewing.
It's a musical instrument.
What is your go-to Cai Fan order? Okay, y'all ready?
You got order fish or not?
I do it.
Wow.
Okay, sometimes I order fish, but most of the time I like the soya chicken, 小白菜, which is cabbage,
小白菜.
and maybe eggs on the side.
If you were a sound, what would you be?
Hey, we make for her.
Okay, what sound would I be?
Oh my god, mine was like, yeah.
Why am I so animalistic? Guys, let's go back to the episode.
To your question, I think that someone who is happy all the time and has never truly experienced real pain would not be able to empathize with someone like me or someone like you who has gone through a lot of negative emotions because they have never truly understood the depth of feelings.
You know that one friend that you know if they're in a bad mood, you need to pre-text everybody in the group chat and be like, hey guys, don't ask her anything. Don't talk to her. Don't mention
Wow.
these things. It's so
hate it, eh.
tiring.
Oh my god, she's the IRL sadness.
No, it's not even sadness.
Yeah.
It's just
Moody.
it's main
It's
character.
really moody. It's like
Moody.
everything
Yeah.
like, I don't know, we can go anywhere. That's fine. Then we choose place. Oh, it's very expensive. Like, can we go somewhere else? Then okay.
you choose lah, you
then, okay,
choose.
what would you like to choose? I don't know. Don't ask me. Can we all just decide?
Yeah.
Like,
Wow,
and
I
like,
can't
huh?
remember.
Like I am in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So everybody must feel what I'm feeling.
But I think it really boils down to being regulated. And I feel like the regulation can only come when you let the emotions, like you open the door, let them come in, then you give them their own space and sit down. You know what I mean?
Because actually the other thing that Inside Out doesn't really touch on is like your personality and your values also, which is separate from your emotions. Right? So that is how different people process the same emotion.
Inside Out 2 actually touches on that. TLDR, Joy was collecting all these things to put into something that will eventually grow, and when it lights up, right, now she has her belief system.
Oh.
And when anxiety came in, anxiety decided, no, let's prepare for every worst situation possible, and her belief system became full of negative emotions. And what Joy was also doing was every time there was an emotion of like embarrassment or fear, she's like, nah, she doesn't need this, throw in like the suppressed memories, so she wouldn't have it in her like her ready to reach memories. They can't both be good. Like the joy and anxiety need to like work together. But basically anxiety, spoiler alert, she like locked Joy and all them away, and then she took over the control.
Sounds very relatable though.
Yeah.
Right?
When
But it's
anxiety hits, right, there's no way you can get out of it. I mean, it's very hard to like flip the switch.
Yeah.
It can stay for days. It can stay for weeks.
There's no sense, lor. Like you're not
Yeah.
making sense anymore.
Yeah.
But you're just doing what you can because you're coping on stress.
Yeah.
But going back to what I mentioned, right, I feel like a good example would be like how people process the same emotion. If I feel anger and then you feel anger. But if I'm a considerate person and you're a selfish person, then you will lash out, whereas I internalize.
I think it's important to know as well that being considerate and bottling up your emotions are two very different things.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
being considerate very tiring. Because you have to put up a front.
Sometimes my friends and I would park aside a specific time, right, to talk about our feelings. So I mean, we enjoy the night first, and then when it's time to HDHD, you kind of sense it. Well, should we open a bottle of wine? And then that's where you start to spill your emotions. I think that helps. That's a good balance of like being considerate without suppressing your feelings. Yeah.
So I feel like it's important to the distinction to make here is whether their lows, right, the negativity, is it a seasonal thing and what is it triggered by? Like, so if person going through bad breakup or like tough time at work, then you know it's seasonal. So then this is the time where you come in and it's your turn to be a good friend and support lah. But then if it's just like inherently, okay, I just want to be negative for the sake of it. I just want to be negative because I feel like
It's a personality trait.
I like it when other people have to come and try to make me happy.
Yeah.
Like there are times where I'm like having a bad day. I know my friend's having a bad day. We just be like, do you have the capacity to listen? If not, let's just noir. Like we'll just meet up and just together. But then it feels good because it's therapy. You're there for each other.
You all ever have a friend that is so default negative, right? That you are scared to share good news with this person.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god. Well, we said yes real quick.
Because right, these people typically are self-centered people who they cannot feel happy for you also. So when you tell them something, right, then it'll be like they make it about themselves.
Good for you, lor. I would never be able to like
Yeah.
achieve that. Then you feel guilty.
Then I feel guilty for like something good happening in my life.
Yeah. No, it's like you want to celebrate, right, on an evening out, but
Yeah.
then you don't dare to mention it at all.
Yeah.
So sad.
Realistically, there are some situations where you have no choice but to suck it up. You just cannot show your emotions.
Yeah.
The one I can think of is if it's your friend's wedding and you just find out you've been fired. Are you going to make that day about you? I don't know if it's selfishness or the ability to have two emotions at once, because we all can.
Yeah. As in, you can heal and hurt at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think the world doesn't stop when grief happens. And that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still have to like go to work. You have to meet your friends. I think your parents would probably ask you, how's your day? And then you have to like either put on a front or lie to them about it because you don't want them to worry too much about it.
Can you imagine one of
Yeah.
my friends, she found out her dad passed away like just before walking on stage. And she had to be on stage for the next 2 hours. And your job is to make other people feel not just like comfortable, like happy. You're supposed to incite happiness and excitement. And then you just got the phone call that like, hey, dad just passed. I will never understand that.
This one quite extreme, like the pass away one. I'm trying to think like if I was in that position, like why even still go on stage?
Right.
But it's more from not from an emotional point of view, but more of like a
I want to do it for my dad.
no more from like a practical point of view. I got things to do.
Yeah.
I got more important things to do lah.
I was thinking more of like my dad would be proud of me
Yeah.
either way, so I should do it for him.
Or
I think
Yeah.
right after he died, you're not doing any processions immediately. Your family members can attend to it for the next 2 hours lah. You know what I mean?
okay lah. Then
Yeah.
actually from that perspective, right, I think I can compartmentalize. Actually, that reminds me to I think the toughest one that a lot of guys can relate to.
Me, yeah.
When you kind of
shit.
broken up with, right? When you're in army.
Oh my
Or like
God.
the worst is when you're in BMT. When you are in Tekong, then a lot of times the things that keep you going is like your loved ones and stuff like that. The
Yeah.
thought of like, oh, okay, then one more day that I book out, then I can go and like see my girlfriend or whatever. To be like broken up with, I think that one very hard to compartmentalize.
Pain, eh?
Yeah.
That is your key incentive for even putting up with like the 5 out of 7 days of your week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then suddenly you tell me that like the 2 out of 7 days, right?
Yeah.
You got nothing to really like tahan for.
You know how our Boys to Men, there was this one scene?
The first one.
Yeah, as in like one of the guy's girlfriends broke up, right?
Yeah.
Is it really that bad? Like,
Quite
do you
bad,
think
quite
so?
bad, quite bad. I see like some of my bunkmates last time,
They like
really-
cry.
They cry, they don't want to do
Wow.
anything. Then they like,
Poor thing, eh.
the people kind of like threaten, like, we're going to charge you if you don't do, then you just charge or.
Oh, like they give up on life already.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like,
shit.
okay, when consequences don't face you, that's when you know
Yeah.
it's really bad. I remember my ex like to like start fights before I go on stage.
You mentioned this before, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really a really like a, can you just, hi guys, like so you just have to put on a front and pretend.
Yeah.
Oh, outside here, but inside it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god. these are just things that they come with adulthood. When you have added responsibilities, our parents a lot of the time also, they made us feel like everything was okay, but you don't know that they are maybe the rent of the month is not even there yet, but they never make you feel, there are a lot of parents who do that, and they keep a facade with their children, and the children never like sense any of this at all.
Yeah.
That's a way of, I wouldn't say suppressing, but it's protection of the people around you. I don't know. How do you guys unpack your emotions?
Actually, I think I don't unpack.
So it's just boxes.
I just like organic. Like, if it's
Zero waste. Zero
like,
waste.
if you like,
reuse,
if like a
reuse,
certain
recycle.
emotion suddenly like re-emerges,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, like, I forgot about that.
Long time no see,
Yeah.
friend.
It's a case of like, okay, does this emotion serve my practical needs now? If it doesn't, I compartmentalize. Then compartmentalize, I finish like whatever I'm doing already, right? And even if I have time to like entertain that emotion, right? If I don't see the need to, I don't see the need to lah. And if it then like re-emerges in a certain shape or form, by that point, it would have been diluted enough for me to just like rationally process it without like it affecting me.
When I have friends like this, right, I always, let's unpack it.
Yeah.
Like, I
let's
really
unpack
want to unpack and help you, like, navigate your emotions. But then a therapist friend once told me, if you unpack it, you must know how to pack it back.
Pack back,
Yeah.
correct. Don't unpack what you cannot pack back.
So
Yeah.
like because of the recent like Father's Day episode, right? Then some of these emotions came back out because like there are memories that I forgot about. So then when it came back out, right, then I realized that actually I remember that I felt sad, or I remember that I felt angry, but then I just don't feel sad or angry anymore, even when I think about them.
Do you feel any lingering unprocessed emotions, or you just feel like, oh, these emotions exist and they just don't serve me?
Yeah.
So I actually feel like because Nick is just wired this way, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because if it was a pressing emotion, you will 100% face it head on.
Yeah. So I feel like it re-emerges and then I'm like, there's a tinge of like anger there. But then the logical side of me will be like, does it make sense for you to be angry?
That's processing. You
Yeah
are
lor.
processing.
Then I like, it doesn't make sense. Then okay lor, then it disappears.
Okay.
He processes like a
Differently
computer.
lah.
Important? No. Done.
Yeah.
So simple, yeah.
Well, I'm very different from you. I either talk to my friends, my sister, or I journal, even when I don't feel unhappy. So I would actually mark down the emotions that I was feeling. So sometimes you can buy journals that have different emotions that you just stick. A bit like writing a table or like doing up a graph, right? You're just trying to find out like the root cause and then whether it makes sense or not. And whether it's something that you can act on or it will take time. Yeah. So that's how I process my emotions these days.
I think I'm very good at compartmentalizing, but there comes a time where it's a lot. And when it's a lot, then I either journal, rant to my friends, or Charlie, or therapist.
Oh, so interesting. I don't talk about my feelings. And then like it frustrates Jess.
It frustrates a lot of women when men don't talk about their feelings because we're just trying to understand and connect with
Well,
you
there's
guys.
nothing to understand.
Huh? Wait.
It's because you think that there is something that I am feeling and I'm not saying. But the reality is that I'm just not feeling anything.
Okay,
You're just no thoughts, head empty lah.
Yeah.
Really?
In your
Girls
mind, you are thinking that I'm keeping something from you. But actually, I'm just thinking about what I want to have for breakfast tomorrow.
No, actually, you are the last person I would think that if you are thinking something, you won't tell me.
Yeah. If I got something to tell you, I'll tell you.
Like sometimes he will tell things that actually don't need to tell one.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
But I would assume in a relationship it's very different.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I'll be like, I'm so grateful for this moment. I love our little day. It's like, it's not like you will voice these things out, right? Will you?
Yeah. So I sometimes like I don't lah. Then sometimes like Jess will be like
How do you feel about it?
yeah, are you happy also? Then after that I need to dig up like
From the trenches. Oh my god. On our recent trip to Japan, right? Like, I was just telling Charlie, like, oh, you're my favorite travel buddy. Then he was like, yeah. Then he like rubbed my back, right? And I said, and? So difficult to say. Like, it wasn't an innate response, immediate. Oh, you too. Like, so difficult to say, don't say lah. Next time don't travel with me, go travel alone.
I think we value stability.
It's very stable to voice your opinions, but you can voice it stably. Like,
No, but I I feel like by doing that, like what the example that you gave, right? It's because you were seeking like a spike in emotion, a positive spike in emotion. Whereas like me and probably like Charlie also, there's no need for that spike. There's no need for that positive spike, but we will also not let our emotions
They
take a
don't need the
negative.
validation that, you know, they're the best.
It's not validation. I always tell Charlie, then like that, nobody say I love you for the rest of their lives. Because understood what? But why do we still say I love you? Because you want me to know, right? Then, so am I your best travel buddy or not? Say now.
Okay.
Do you think that social media has taught us or conditioned us to overshare?
Yeah, nowadays it's very much like, oh, okay, you need to talk about your emotions. You need to like acknowledge your emotions and things like that. And then like social media is that platform for you to like talk or acknowledge or to share.
I mean, you're in some sense disseminating this information, right? And increasing your chances of more people acknowledging and understanding your situation.
Yeah.
Because your friend might not understand it at all.
And there's a reason why we share our successes online, like LinkedIn. Okay, yes, you want your friends to know, but you also want to be acknowledged for that by your friends. And it's an efficient way to just be like, one time, 100 people can see.
Now we also see that like on social media, you see that a lot more lah. Like people share their lows also. And I think that in the past, maybe like when we were growing up, you tend to hide the lows away from the public eye a bit
Oh my
more.
god, guys, sorry, I just remember something. Remember last time there was this trend, right, where people would take a picture of a black screen and then put the words damn small at the bottom.
like-
Oh yeah.
The IG.
Yeah.
Then they
Yeah,
expect
yeah.
you to like screenshot and then zoom in.
I think sometimes like we also struggle to formulate the words to describe how you're feeling.
And
Yeah.
the difference between sharing online and through message is that
Yeah.
when you do it through message, your friend needs to be present. There's like a time period. Whereas online, anytime your friend sees it,
Yeah.
when it's convenient for
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
they
yeah,
can
yeah.
reach out to you.
Yeah.
So it's like I repost, and then if nobody like message me,
Hey, repost
I feel
again.
like everybody busy lor.
sad.
So I just repost again until someone see.
Do you guys think that the new generation of youths are going to pioneer a generation of young adults who are more expressive and embrace both positive and negative emotions?
I feel generally quite optimistic about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're president or what?
That's very big on
This
his
one like
end.
presidential election.
Okay,
No.
Lawrence.
Continue.
I think quite good, but the only thing that I would like caution the youth today of is that to not always put your emotions at the center of the universe. You need to be able to balance out like internal factors and external factors.
As in, you can be a main character of your story, but don't have main character syndrome.
Exactly.
Okay, I think after all that we've talked about today, we've really learned that you cannot just feel positive emotions only or negative emotions only. They both exist and they should coexist. And I think it's important to speak to your friends, have an outlet. If it's a journal, if it's gaming, if it's talking to a therapist. And of course, if you feel the extreme ends of things very intensely and you feel like you need to talk to a professional, then definitely go and do that. I think it's really important to put your mental health first, and there's no shame in seeking help. I think therapy is one of the best things
Yes.
I've ever done for myself.
And in the next episode, Nick will go to therapy.
Wow.
Joking.
I might cause the person to like
Quit their job.
quit their job.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of The Hot Pot. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Me Listen.
And subscribe to us if you haven't already.
See you next time when we gather here again to record another episode of The Hot Pot.
That's right. Bye.
Okay, so since Nick's FYP has been, what did you call that?
Not doing so well.
No, it's a new
the
term.
new Gen Z term. What is it?
Oh, minus 1,000 aura.
Okay.
My lozenges. Suddenly got one part break, then made me choke.
Got scratch your throat. or not?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ah,
You need some water or what?
yeah.